Hey fellow Vault Dwellers, it's Angry Turtle, and finally I'm doing the guide for you about best mods for shotguns. It was requested for so long and I always had something else that I needed to record. But finally, there it is, shotgun mods. And you should know before I start that I'm currently on holiday. Then I recorded this video before going on holiday, and I will be back in next week. Then I can be, for this week, I can be less active in comments section, but you are still free to discuss there whatever you need, and whenever I will be able to catch internet access, I will try to answer at least some of them. Alright, now about those shotguns. I have 3 shotguns, freshly crafted combat shotgun, a double barrel shotgun, and pump action shotgun, as those are the most popular. And about the Gauss shotgun, I already covered it in dedicated video, then you can check everything over there. And let's start with a shotgun with the lowest amount of mods available. Short double barrel shotgun. And now, receiver. There is one thing important that you should know about the receiver. What you should consider is if you mainly need cheaper watts and faster fire rate, then you have hair-triggered receiver. And if you need damage, then there is just below hardened receiver. All of the other receivers are not really worth it unless you want to, for whatever reason, use the prime one. But I will not recommend. Just hardened is good. And all those other receivers are not really too useful. Apart maybe from true receiver that you can consider if you are going mainly for like a crippling shotgun and all you care is hipfire accuracy and you are not using watts. If you are using watts, then either hair trigger or hardened receiver. Then there is not too much choices. Based on your playstyle, you want damage, hardened receiver. You want cheaper watts, slightly cheaper because it's not a huge difference, hair trigger receiver. You want to hip fire this shotgun and you want to cripple enemies, true receiver. If you want to hip fire and do damage, hardened receiver. Now about the barrel. Unfortunately, you choose what you need because where watts is included, the align and other stuff, there is like no noticeable difference and you shouldn't take into consideration if it will affect watts. Then good options as well. It's true long barrel. You always want long, you want the distance. Unless you intentionally don't want to do damage and cripple only, then you go for saved off barrel. Otherwise always long. Then what else I can say? True long barrel, align or stabilized based on your preference. It doesn't do anything else. About the stock, I will just go with forceful for extra durability. Although if you choose anything else, it's not much of a difference if how your shotgun will behave. And about the sights, again, they doesn't seem to do much. If anything, then just choose whatever you like. If you aim with them, if you use watts, it probably doesn't matter at all. And about the muzzle, the only reason to use a muzzle is if you want to intentionally reduce your range to make a crippling shotgun, then you put muzzle. Otherwise, you don't. Then that was quick. Let's go for pump action shotgun. There is a little bit more to be said in here. About receivers, it is a similar situation. You can go for hair trigger receiver that improve your fire rate by quite a lot, or you go for hardened if you need this damage. You can consider here speedy receiver if you want a balance between hipfire accuracy and fire rate. Speedy receiver will slightly reduce your watts cost, and hair triggered receiver will reduce watts cost a little bit more. Most of you probably want this hardened receiver for extra damage. But other options are valid as well. Don't go for crit damage, it's not really worth it. Like hardened receiver will give you more damage than if you go for calibrated or any other that gives you crit damage. If you want damage, hardened receiver. About the barrel, the situation is the same as about double barrel shotgun. There's not much of a difference. When we go into the combat shotgun, it will be more important. In here, choose what suits you. The same we can say about the grip. I will go with a forceful as it looks nice and give you some extra durability. There is no sights, even if you want, then nothing to say here. About the muzzles, there you have a choice. You put suppressor if you want to use it with stealth, or similarly to the double barrel shotgun if you want to make a crippling shotgun. And what I mean by crippling shotgun is if you need a weapon that will cripple enemy without doing damage. Sometimes you need it, like if you want to try and solo radiation rumble, you want to disable ghouls, not to kill them. If you kill them, the new one will spawn. If you just disable them, then nothing will spawn, you can go and gather ore. And now the more complicated topic. Combat shotgun. You probably already watched a lot of video talking about negative range, and I need to say it first. There are consequences for going negative range on this shotgun. Mainly, crazy damage drop-off. I heard some comments that it's not losing damage. It is losing damage. Your damage will be reduced by 90% even if enemy is just 10 feet away. Then that's a lot if you go for negative range. Yes, it will improve your accuracy, but unless your goal is to get a crippling shotgun, you do not go for negative range. And now, I will tell you quickly, if you want crippling shotgun, then from the receivers you put powerful automatic receiver. From the barrel you put a line short barrel. About the stock you put forceful full stock. About the magazine you put quick magazine. About the sights you put reflex sight. About the muzzle you put suppressor. This will give you negative range, okay VATS cost, and 0 damage. If it's your goal, go for it. If you have magic shotgun, it will still do a little bit of damage, but not too much, definitely not as much as it can do modded correctly. Now, normal mods, when you go for something useful in VATS or in hipfire. About the receivers, don't go for any automatic receiver. If it says fire rate 22, it comes with a huge penalty to VATS cost. Then you don't want it, unless you never use VATS with a shotgun. It's a huge penalty to VATS cost if you go for automatic receiver. It's opposite to what is happening with rifles. Then you need to focus on that. Don't go for automatic. Therefore, hardened receiver seems to be like no-brainer. You want it because there is like no other good options. You can consider true receiver, but do you really need so much hipfire accuracy? I don't know, maybe you need, then you can consider this one. All other receivers, no, they just bad. Hardened or true. You have very simple choices. About the barrel, here it's important, if you want to use it in VATS, to actually go for a line long barrel. This will reduce your AP cost. Then I do recommend a line long barrel. If you don't need VATS, like other shotguns, your choice which one you like. About the stock, I will recommend forceful full stock for VATS and no VATS, because it increases durability greatly, give you some extra recoil control and less VATS cost. Then I will almost always go for this one, unless you are really aiming for this hipfire accuracy, then true short stock can be considered. But for me, forceful full stock, it's a no-brainer. About the magazines, there is a little bit more choices, and it's the first shotgun with magazines. I do not recommend drum magazine, it comes with a penalty to VATS. A perforating magazine, it's awesome if your main goal is damage, but still, there is bad, which means it will go with a penalty to your AP cost in VATS. If you want to use it mainly in VATS, go for quick magazine. That's the one you want, and mainly your choice, perforating or quick, depend on your playstyle. There is more. If you really need, you can use them, but those two are what I recommend. About the sights, unless you are going for some crazy sniper build with a shotgun, then reflex sights. Very useful and reduces AP cost in VATS again. I go always with a reflex sight on combat shotgun, with one exception when I was doing poison shotgunner, but it was back then when Strangler Hard Power Armor had powerful poison with shotguns. It's not the case anymore, then it's not valuable to use anything else than reflex sight. About the muzzle, use suppressor if you want to be stealthy, or no muzzle at all if you don't care about stealth. The other use of suppressor we already said. If you want a crippling shotgun without range, then yes, suppressor as well. And those are all the mods for shotguns and all my recommendations. If this will help at least some of you, I will be really happy. And that's what I had for today. I tested those mods, although I'm not testing this on the video because it will take like crazy amount of time. But you can still see some of the walls with holes after I was testing some of the shotguns in here with Mitzi. Then yeah, you can see that. And as always, thank you a lot for watching and see you guys in the next one.